Hello and welcome to podcast number 8. This week, I thought we would start to look at ways to bring the spiritual connection into your daily life. Everybody's journey is their own to follow, and nobody can do it for you. These sessions are aimed to guide rather than instruct. I can tell you things from my own path, but you must follow your own. We are lucky in the spiritualist world that we do not have a set of sacred texts of our own to keep going back to. It also means that we have nothing to beat up other people with and dictate how the world should behave. We are free to borrow from other systems of belief and make them our own. I personally use elements of Western Christianity, Buddhism, Wicca and ancient craft, and some of the third way modern New Age beliefs. It all works very well for me. Actually, you'll be amazed how many elements, practices, rituals and beliefs are shared between the traditions. There really is a lot more that binds us than divides us, if you have eyes open to see. The core belief of any spiritualist is that life carries on after death, that the soul, on the death of the physical body, goes back to spirit world to rest, study, help others. Every now and then, if we learnt and understood enough from our reincarnations onto the physical plane, we get to step up a level. We also believe that it is possible to communicate with our loved ones in spirit, through mediums and psychics, to bring messages of learning, peace and love. We have successfully proved that life carries on after death. For decades, mediums and psychics have been providing evidence. Now is the time to reaffirm the spiritual truths that we have. Our connection to spirit allows us to see the world as it really is, all the good and all the bad. We have to be true to ourselves and work towards the good of all in all that we do. By being true to yourself and speaking your own truth, you are adding to the positive energy that is trying so hard to change this world for the good of everyone. If you are able to stand up for what you believe in, then you are being true to your inner self, and that is important not only in your spiritual life, but also in your daily life and business life as well. You should take responsibility for your own personal actions. When I left the monastery, I found it hard to get back into parish worship. I hated being preached at, and the style of worship was now unfamiliar to me after being used to the daily offices. The monastery gives you space to do your own spiritual reading and learning. Most of them have vast, great libraries to make use of and to deepen your own interests and further your own path. Being back in the pews, I found the thinking and style of my parish priest to be restrictive and stagnant. His theology was at least 30 years behind mine. So I kept up my spiritual reading, and although it's lapsed a little in the last couple of years, I still try to read something new and different most years. Something to think about and chew over, something that will widen my mind in spiritual matters. I walk every day, as long as it isn't raining. 2 reasons. Cardiology told me to if I wanted to help prevent another heart attack, and one was enough, thank you very much. And most importantly, I found it gave me a chance to reflect on the day, or helps to straighten out the thoughts in my head. It's also a form of meditation. Sometimes I have conversations with my guide when I'm walking, although Sam tends to ride his motorbike rather than walk with me. He says he looks cooler in his black leather jacket and all. Anyway, it's the chance to reflect on aspects of the day. Did I approach that situation in the right way? Could I have done it better? Did I show a spiritual understanding? Last night when I was out, I was so engrossed in my thoughts that I nearly walked into one of our neighbours out walking her 2 dogs. It wasn't until the boys barked on seeing me, saying hello, that I realised that they were there at all. So 3 very monastic tools that St. Benedict would be so proud of me keeping up. Continue learning, contemplation and reflection. All things that everyone can do. If book learning isn't your thing, then get out to evenings where a group of like-minded are having a talk or a demo of some kind, or have a guest speaker. That all counts, and we have a dedicated evening for just that in the Warren Centre, the monthly chit-chat group. It's a chance for like-minded people to come together and talk over subjects that come up for all spiritual people. Sometimes we have a guest speaker to lead the conversation. Other times we'll hold an open clinic evening where, in a spirit of openness and love, we talk over things that we might be finding difficult in our spiritual lives, whether that's dealing with a personal issue or having problems in your development. Being with like-minded people also helps to strengthen our own connection into spirit, and I would encourage any of you to seek out groups in your area and find one that is right for you. Last week, I led the conversation on how much the Wicca community and spiritualists share in common, and some of the things that we could learn from them. I'm no expert on Wicca, but I have some study on it over the time I was in recovery. It was a very enjoyable evening, and I know that everyone who came along was able to take something from it. Other times, Rachel will lead a conversation on an area that she knows well. So all in all, we're all bonding and working for spirit. Music has long been a great tradition in the Western monastic tradition, and it's something that I still carry on today. Not so much singing myself, but the uplifting effect of song. It is my belief that some songwriters are channeling spirit when they write. Gary Barlow of Take That is a good example, although I doubt he would acknowledge it. Which is okay. Spirit will use whatever door is open to them, be that conscious or unconscious thought. Music of every genre has the ability to lift us to a higher state of happiness. My own iTunes library has in it a lot of songs from my misspent youth, as they remind me of people and places that I hold in my heart, even though some of them have passed on to other things in this world and we are no longer in touch. The sense of happiness and memory are very important to me. Although my own popular music taste is stuck somewhere in the 1980s, you can still find connections to spirit in pop songs if you listen to the words and focus on spirit as the central point. I'm going to play a modern example of a monastic plainsong chant. It's from a French community called Taizé, and I first discovered these when I was in my teens all those years ago. although written with the Christian God in mind, and I hope you'll agree that it works with whichever deity you are aligned to. The wonderful thing about the Taizé community is that they hold international youth camps, and a lot of the songs that they use during worship have been written by visiting teenagers just starting out on their own spiritual paths. And that's the special thing about being on a personal spiritual path. You are free to explore every tradition, every set of sacred texts, any writings, any cultural influences, and make them your own to help your own path. This weekend, I'll have been at Winchester Independent Spiritual Church's monthly coffee afternoon, doing readings and seeing friends. It's always a wonderful opportunity to meet up with people, and to meet up with people who I have helped in the past. Sunday is a fair in Waterlooville in Hampshire. Monday evening is development group at the Warren Centre. And Tuesday is my crystal talk for Andover Alternatives. So a busy couple of days ahead, but all working for Spirit. Next week's podcast will be the development group's meditation. So until we meet up again, may the goddess watch over you and your loved ones.